It's Christmas time. Oh, hello, everybody. It's me, Chris Smith. In case you're wondering why I'm wearing a hat again in another episode, it's because I didn't wash my hair, and I can't face America and the European countries and all the other countries with bad hair. Today I'm here with Blackie Humphrey, Hector Angel, Shadow Rascal, Godfrey Gladstone III. Blackie, say hello to everybody. And we are here for our annual bottoms list of the bottom movies of 2023. Now, we've been doing these for many years, I think since 2014. So it's always very special to us to do the tops and bottoms. And the next two episodes after this will be the tops, but divided into two parts because we're going to start at number 20 and then go up to 11. And then in the final one, we'll go from 10 to 1. But these are the bottom movies. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the worst movies on the planet, but they are my 10 least favorite movies that I saw in 2023. My apologies to everyone. Okay, at number 10 is the third movie in my Big Fat Greek Wedding saga. I call it My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. Now, in this one, they take a trip to Greece, and it again stars the usual gang, including Nia Vardalos and John Corbett. We love everybody, but this movie, other than the beautiful scenery in Greece, it just was not my favorite. I'm sorry. I wish there had been a different script, really, and a different story. It didn't really grab me, and it was missing the magic. Of course, the father is no longer with us, and the mother, played by Lainey Kazan, had a very limited role in the movie, and it was just it reminded me of life and the fact that everything changes, and it's just not as good as it was in the previous two movies. That's how I feel about life, too. Um, Now, at number 9, this one broke my heart because when I first heard about it, I said, oh, that might be in my tops list. It is Watch What Happens. What Happens Later. It stars Meg Ryan and David Duchovny, and it's also directed by Meg Ryan, and I believe she's one of the co-writers. The logo, the tagline is "They missed their connection." Well, really, the whole movie missed its connection. It is about a couple who meet in the airport, and their flights are delayed, and they were romantically involved many years ago, and they haven't seen each other in years, and now they're in a delayed, closed little airport, and they keep running into each other, and they rehash their past romance and its failure. Now, I love Meg Ryan, of course, and I love David Duchovny. So I was excited about it. And in fact, I had this written down in my ideas book many years ago, a movie about two people stranded at a closed airport. I think mine was Pittsburgh. And now I know that it doesn't work. This is based on a play, and maybe it worked better in the play. But in the movie, it just felt like nothing happened. It was very slow, and there was a lot of them getting up and just leaving their bags unattended, which made me very nervous. Who leaves their bags unattended nowadays, even in an airport that has delayed flights and closures? I wouldn't do it. Now, at number 8 is Renfield. This is the movie that came out in the spring with Nicolas Cage as Dracula. I think he was playing Dracula, and Nicholas Hoult and Aquafina are also in it. And I saw it with my sister Jeanette, who was visiting me at the time in LA. And we had a good time going together and sharing popcorn. And so the company was good. But the movie, it left a bad taste in my mouth. You know, it's a comedy. And Renfield is, of course, the person who's sort of like the assistant of Dracula, and he works with him. Yeah, it left a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't think it was blood or the popcorn. There was something about it that just wasn't quite gelled yet. No, it just wasn't there yet, I don't think. The ingredients were there. It's very hard to make a movie, y'all, and it's very hard to write a script. I know. So I feel sort of bad about doing the bottoms because, you're taking someone's very hard work and sort of dissing it. But that's what we like to do. Now, at number 7, this movie is called Black Demon. Now, I was disappointed because the Meg 2 came out, and the Meg was on my bottoms list when it came out. And then when I saw the Meg 2, I said, oh, good, maybe this will be on my bottoms list again. And Meg 2 was actually much better than the first one. So they really stepped it up. But you know who didn't step it up? Black Demon. This one was set on an oil rig. And this man and his family, Josh Lucas, is the star of it. Nature bites back, says the tagline. They go out to this oil rig somewhere in Mexico. It's based on the Mexican legend, and chaos ensues, and people are eaten by this giant black demon that is swimming all around. I don't know. This was not for me. This it didn't have the magic of Jaws. It didn't even have the magic of Meg 2. It's Black Demon. And it was number 7. Now, at number 6, this is a movie called Inside with Willem Dafoe. A solitary exhibition. Now, Willem Dafoe is a thief, and he sneaks into this high-tech apartment, and him and his cohorts, they're stealing some artwork, but there's a very advanced security system that seals off everything. I mean, it locks that place down tighter than a drum, and he is trapped in there for weeks and weeks, maybe even months, and his friends who are, well, they're not really friends, but who are also robbing the place with him, they just leave him there. He's the only one inside the apartment, and he has to survive all that time. And why don't the police ever come? No one ever comes, spoiler alert. And it wasn't that the movie's claustrophobic. It's just that it's just Willem Dafoe. And Willem Dafoe, I really just didn't want to spend that much time with just Willem Dafoe. No offense to Willem if you're watching. Great idea for a play, maybe. But as a movie, not my favorite. Now, at number 5 is Disney's Haunted Mansion, based on the ride Haunted Mansion. Now, this is the second attempt at a Haunted Mansion movie. They did the one with Eddie Murphy some years ago. And this one has Lakeith Stanfield, Tiffany Haddish, Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, and Rosario Dawson. Now, yes, it was an improvement to the other Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy, And it looked great. The special effects were mwah. It was colorful. It had all the elements from the ride that you love, but again, not fully figured out. It wasn't that funny, I didn't think. And they did have the Hatbox ghost, and who carries around the head and everything, and he's the skeleton and had the top hat. Yeah, maybe they should stop with the Haunted Mansion movies. When I was getting back from seeing my mother last year, the LAX airport was all over. It was all over the airport. It had big giant posters for Haunted Mansion. They had papered the walls with it. And I said, oh, I have a terrible feeling that movie's going to be a big old bomb. And then it's going to be out of the theaters before they could even take all these posters down. And I think that happened. I'm sorry for them. It was a disappointment for all of us, because who doesn't love the Haunted Mansion? At number 4 is a movie I call Down Low, mostly because that's what it was called. And it stars Zachary Quinto and Lucas Gage, also Simon Rex, and Audra McDonald, and Judith Light as the neighbor. Now, when even Judith Light can't save your movie, you've got troubles. Down Low is about these two guys who are about to have a sexual encounter, and a third person joins them and ends up getting killed. I think he falls out the window. And then, like everybody, instead of calling for help, they decide to hide the body. And wackiness ensues. Now, I didn't really find this movie very funny. I saw it on streaming, and it came out in October of 2023. And there were a few laughs from Judith Light as the drunk neighbor who comes over, and then they have to lock her in a closet and because she's seen too much. And yeah, it was just a down low shame. That's what I thought. But here's one that was even worse for me. At number 3 was Oregon Trail. Now, the title is clever because it reminds you of the Oregon Trail. And it's about these settlers back in the olden days who were traveling across the land in covered wagons and whatnot. But a band of vicious thieves kill people along the way and grab this girl and take her, and it's a fight for survival. It sounds better when I describe it than what it actually was. It just made me feel dirty, and I wanted to take a shower afterwards. Oregon Trail. You can see it, I believe, on Paramount Plus. Now, this one was a big hit at number 2, but its charms were lost on me. I am sorry. It is Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, I'm told that it's based on like a video game or something. Can you survive? It came out in October. We were all very excited about it. And it's sort of like a Chuck E. Cheese nightmare, where this old children's restaurant type place called Freddy's has been closed down and there were all these murders or disappearances of these children. And whenever somebody goes in there, and there's a security guard that's hired to watch the place, which I don't know why the electricity's still on and it's still operational but closed, and he's hired to go in there and guard the place. And all these animatronic creatures come to life. Now, I'm so confused about what this movie was about. Now, spoiler alert, the children's, they're killed and then their spirits go into the animatronics or something and keeps them operational. Matthew Lillard is in it, and he's all excited that he's in his third big franchise, and it's a hit, and there's going to be more movies. Somebody explain to me what was the point of this movie, and how is this a video game? I don't know. I just didn't like it at all, and it's PG-13, so they couldn't do too much with the gore and the scares, so it was just a watered down experience. But it looked great. It was technically, the creatures and the colors and everything, top notch. But anyway, at number 1, here's another movie that's in the horror land. And I knew right away. I said, oh, you're going to be competing in my tops or in my bottoms list. It's Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Now, in this controversial movie, Winnie the Pooh, beloved children's character from books and from Disney cartoons, he has gone into public domain. So, right away, he was made into a vicious killer, along with Piglet and who was the other killer in it? This year they're making the sequel, and Tigger is joining them. I know that maybe it was just Piglet, and they've killed Eeyore, and they've turned into like these monsters. They've gone feral, apparently, because Christopher Robin abandoned them. And now Christopher Robin returns when he's an adult, and he's brought his fiancée. And Winnie the Pooh and Piglet are not having it, and they're just killing everybody. Now, there's nothing fun about this movie. It is brutal. There's no humor. It is just basically a Winnie the Pooh snuff film. But I saw previews for Winnie the Pooh 2, and it looks like Meg 2. They've stepped it up, and it looks a little better. But do what you can and avoid Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Okay, that's the bottoms for 2023 for me. And I will see you next time when it's time to review the top movies of 2023. Okay, goodbye, everybody. See you next time when it's Christmas time.